interesting thought process.
That's a great question. Oh, that's really hard. Oh my God, I didn't realize it was going to be like this.
Wow, that's a good question.
Another good but difficult question.
Welcome to Casual Conversations with your host, Mike Oppenheim. Hi, this is Mike Oppenheim, and thank you for tuning in to a Casual Conversations. This time I have another very close friend who's also very smart. You might be wondering how someone like me is friends with so many smart people. Early in life, I tricked them. That would be my answer. But anyway, this person, his name is Mike. I'm not going to give his last name because he works for a company and he would rather answer all these questions very, very honestly than have to monitor what he's saying on behalf of the company he works for. So I hope you understand. And if you don't, I don't even understand how you're listening to this. Have a little compassion. So my friend Mike, we've been friends for more than 20 years. I'm losing track at this point, but I always introduce an anecdotal reason that I love my friends. So for this one, it's actually pretty damn special. When I was 18 and I was attending college, I was diagnosed with a form of cancer that's pretty common, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And before they did like finalized testings and stuff, I just was morose and thought I was going to die. And I went to meet him for something, and it was like a school project. And I said, I'm really sorry, but I'm late and I don't think I can stay. And when I told him why, he told me, and I'll never forget to this day, he just said, go home and be with God and your family and the people you love. And I'll never forget that moment because it was the first time someone showed me true compassion on like a different level than I'd ever experienced. And so with all that said, hello, Mike, how are you?
Wonderful, Mike. It's so great to talk with you, and thank you for that introduction. Though I think you're making much of a bigger deal out of it than I remember.
Well, what's funny is you remember what you remember, but I remember like also sentences after that, and I was only giving the leading part. But the point was that you became like an instant friend and an ally, and you also just were older than me, and you helped me calm the hell down, and so I will never forget that. And also, this is not going to come up on this podcast because it's not Coffin Talk, but you were one of the first truly admirable religious people I ever met. And so I'm not saying that religious people aren't admirable. I'm just saying that in my experience, I hadn't met a lot of people like you who like really walk the walk and talk the talk. And it was impressive at the time, and it's impressive to this day. So you just, again, I used the word compassion, and that was something you showed. So now I'm going to show you no compassion, and I'm going to grill you on...
Fire will.
Your area of expertise is electrical engineering, and so this podcast is going to be entirely going around like electricity and just all the forms of it. And I'm dying to have you share details of what you can and can't do, but again, because of your job security and all that, I'm going to let you handle that. So I'm not going to say what I'm impressed by, but I am going to start off with the most basic, silly question I could think to ask because I actually want to know. In your esteemed opinion, did Benjamin Franklin actually discover electricity, or would you offer a different history of electricity to the people listening?
Now, I think the phenomenon of electricity was understood on a very basic level well before then. I think that was just an American retcon, if nothing else. That we want our Renaissance man to be so truly vast and diverse in his mastery of physics and metaphysics that we, assigned him that. So yes, I think he did some experimentation, and maybe he made the leap that lightning was electricity, but I don't think that he was, quote, the discoverer of electricity, and certainly not the person to harness it for any sort of actual useful purposes, which came much later.
And so in the grandiose scheme of the history of electricity, who would you say is most responsible for me being able to plug something into a wall and have it turn on?
This is a fascinating topic, and if you've ever read any of the history of electrical power, not the electronics portion of it, but the electrical power side of it, there were kind of 2 or 3 titans in the industry, and the biggest of those certainly is Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison backed the idea of DC, or direct current, which is current that only flows one way, like water would, only flowing one way. Versus Nikola Tesla, who, backed alternating current, basically electricity that just wiggles back and forth. And, the difference between the two is Edison was a businessman and Tesla was a visionary. So I have respect for both of them, even though most people would say, Edison had the bigger impact on the industry because he really got it off the ground in a commercial way. It was his backing that brought Pearl Street Station. Pearl Street Station was the first commercial power station in the U.S., and that was in New York, to fruition. But it was really Tesla's ideas that formed the basis of the modern grid, which is...
Hey everyone, that's it for the free version of this podcast. If you want to hear the full one, just head over to mikeyop.com and become a premium subscriber. That's MIKEYOPP.com. Thanks for listening.